10 surprising facts about Iran, part 2. Here we go, everyone. Iran has an absolutely fascinating level of detail and just history. The level of history is astonishing. The diversity of thought, the scholarship, the record. You know, you go from what do we have? We have the Achaemenid Empire, the Elam, the Neo-Assyrians, and up to modern day dynasties. Multitudes of dynasties, multitudes of different cultural avenues, cultural perspectives, cultural heritage. And it's just, you could delve into it for a very long time. You could be a scholar on this subject and never approach the amount of knowledge required to have a complete understanding of the level of just interesting history. I know there was a lot of dispute regarding the first part of this series, 10 surprising facts about Iran. I don't know why I'm talking with this accent. I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's start talking normally. Now I'm going to talk like a Canadian. What does a Canadian sound like? I don't know. Do they say a boot? No, they don't say a boot. Do they say a? Yeah, I say a lot. Are they really nice and apologetic? And do they say sorry over everything? Basically true. What do you eat? I don't know what's going on with this video. This went from Canadian accents to just... It depends if you're on the West Coast or the East Coast. West Coast Canadians sound more or less like a lot of Americans. And a lot of times people mistake me as an American on the channel. And anyways, population. Listen to how this guy says population. Listen to how he says population. You know, a few of the commenters were having a chuckle with this, about this with me. So population, listen for it. Population. 10 surprising facts about Iran, part 2. Let's go.
Iran is a country that has a very rich history, and it's filled with amazing and intelligent people. Iran's culture and customs set it apart from other countries around the world. Hello and welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is LEROY KENTON, and I am back with part
LEROY. Population. KENTON.
2 of 10 surprising facts about Iran. Now, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, don't worry, I'll have a link down below where you can go check it out. And also be sure to watch this episode all the way till the end, because I throw in a very interesting bonus fact for you, so stay tuned.
See what he did there? That was slick. Hey, that was nice. That was a nice move, LEROY.
A very interesting bonus fact for you, so stay tuned. Okay, starting off with number 10. The current Iranian flag was adopted in the year 1980, and it has 3 equal horizontal...
Guys, is he pronouncing Iranian correctly?
Off with number 10. The current Iranian flag was adopted in the year 1980, and it has 3 equal horizontal bands of green, white, and red. Green is a color of Islam and it represents growth, white represents honesty and peace, and the red stands for bravery and martyrdom. Now, in the middle of the flag, you'll see this stylized representation of the word Allah. Along the inner edges of the green and red bands, there are 22 copies of the phrase Allahu Akbar, meaning God is great. Iran has also been dubbed the nose job capital of the world because a lot of people want to change the shape.
Sometimes, like, if you talk to or you see ignorant people in media, the only thing that they can say, like, their brains are conditioned to be like idiotic, so they'll just spout like Allahu Akbar. Oh, Allahu Akbar. Like, that's the only phrase or piece of like interesting, relevant information they know about the Middle East, and they'll just be like, I can just see it right now.
It has also been dubbed the nose job capital of the world because a lot of people want to change the shape of their nose.
Does anyone remember that Seinfeld episode when Kramer tells the George's girlfriend? Kramer tells George's girlfriend, well, you're a real good looking girl, but you just need a nose job. Because Kramer always blurts out things that he shouldn't and speaks with no filter. I wish I could speak with no filter sometimes, but that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. It creates funny scenes in sitcoms, but it's not as comedic in real life.
Of the world, because a lot of people want to change the shape of their nose, especially young Iranian women. Iran is well known for its rhinoplasty industry, and that's like the actual term for a nose job, and they conduct more operations than in the US. Now here
it is pretty funny when you think about it that they named the actual area of like the medical term for a nose job surgery rhinoplasty. Like this person, their nose looks like a rhino's, a giant, ugly spike of a nose. We need to... Rhinoplasty?
Job, and they conduct more operations than in the US. Now here we have the Persian cat. This is one of the most popular and one of the world's oldest cat breeds. It originated in Iran, and the animal lived in the high plateaus of Iran, and its long fur kept them warm in the cold weather. It's also known as the Persian longhair in English-speaking countries, as well as in Iran, it's known as the Shirazi cat.
I think they're fairly docile.
Now, girls and women over the age of 9 need to wear a hijab when they go out in public, even if you're a tourist. During a period last century, Iran and various other Middle Eastern countries had banned the hijab. But nowadays, many places have a strict dress code for women, but Iran is one of the only countries where the penal code really enforces that you gotta wear the hijab. Although sometimes it's not always heavily enforced, it's still in place. Parkour isn't the first thing that may come to your mind when you think of Iran, but parkour has become extremely popular in Iran since it debuted in the early 2000s. Men go to clubs as well as parks to show off their parkour skills, and women in Iran have taken part in the trend as well. It's become increasingly popular among women who use it as an outlet.
You hear how he said popular? So it's not just population, it's any word that has pop in it. He says it like that. But parkour, man, that was a real big phase for a number of years, but it seems to have died down a little bit in terms of its social media presence.
Taken part in the trend as well. It's become increasingly popular among women who use it as an outlet to develop strength as well as balance and to just stay fit in general. According to Tehran Times, 65% of the Iranian population is overweight. Over 55% of the population are physically inactive, which means not having at least 150 minutes of physical activity during each week. While about 65% of Iranians are obese or overweight, obesity itself affects 23% of the adult population. So that means the majority of people who are obese are the young ones. If you think Iran is a...
Go to the gym, eat some apples and some salad. You'll be fine.
Country made up entirely of deserts and all of that, well, no, you're totally wrong. Not only does it have a lot of mountains, but you can visit mountains like the Alborz Mountains. It's only a few hours from Tehran, the capital, and you'll find several ski resorts. The two main ski resorts are Dizin and Shemshak. Dizin is the largest at 8,700 feet, and it's higher than Europe's highest resort. Shemshak is slightly lower, but the slopes are steeper and more challenging. So it's really great for expert snowboarders and skiers. But there, however, is still a lot of sand. In fact, Iran's vast desert is the only remaining habitat of the cheetah. Slightly smaller than the cheetahs that you'll find over in Africa, though. But this cheetah also is critically endangered, and it's estimated that about 50 of these cheetahs are still in the wild. Now, it's not all bad.
Well, sounds like they're done.
News though, because apparently their numbers are slowly rising. And that's good because cheetahs are my favorite land animals and I don't want them to go. The world's first practical windmills used to grind grain and draw up water were invented in eastern Persia around 500 to 900 AD. Over in Nashtafan, it's a windy town close to the border with
I gotta go fight some windmills. So after this video, I'm gonna go fight some windmills.
Afghanistan, you'll see these horizontal windmills that are built out of clay, straw, and wood that have been used for centuries, and some of them are still functional to this day. That's pretty awesome. Now, if you ever visit Iran, then you gotta go and see this landmark right here in Iran's capital, and that is the Azadi Tower. It's situated at the entrance of the city, and it stands there like a watchtower that guards the whole city. This tower here was designed by Hossein Amanat, who's a Canadian Iranian, and he actually left the country after the Iranian Revolution. The tower was supposed to be built in celebration of the 2500th anniversary of the Persian Empire, but it actually meant the end of the Pahlavi dynasty that was then ruling Iran. So the original name of the tower was King's Memorial, and that changed to Azadi, meaning freedom. Now the tower is about 148 feet tall, and it's covered in cut marble. Very beautiful, magnificent structure. Of course, we expect that from the Persians. They still have things from ancient times that are still functional today. Like, these guys were very smart. And the bonus fact I want to throw at you guys, for those of you who are familiar with Bible and spirituality and religion, it's believed that the three wise men in the nativity story in the Bible were actually Persian. One of the tribes, the Magi, the name used for the three wise men, were actually Zoroastrian priests. Their religious practice and their use of astrology actually caused derivatives of the term Magi to be associated with the occult, and it led to the English term magic being created. So that's it for 10 surprising facts about Iran Part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. Well, 11.
Good stuff. Yeah, let me know, you guys. Let's go through these. We can talk about it in the comments. That was fun, you know. It didn't tell me much because it's just, you know, I've been reacting to so much Persian music, and just I've done Persian documentaries, I've done Persian films, and I've been reading up on just Iran and Persian history a little bit here and there the last few months on the channel. So good stuff. I enjoyed it. We'll see you soon. Peace out, my friends. Later.